Thanks everybody for joining us today. My name is Simon Quinn. I'm the Director of Sales here at CertiPro. Also with me is Nick Young, our ELink product manager. I know this is a strange environment that we're in for our meeting, for the 90 Minds meeting. A lot of us are used to seeing each other walking up and down the halls and attending meetings and learning from each other. So this is kind of a different approach, but we just thought maybe we could use this video and kind of talk a little bit about CertiPro and one of the products that we have that a number of partners that are here at this meeting currently use. And for those that don't, we'll be happy to get you additional information. So real quick on CertiPro, we've been in business for since 2012. We're headquartered in Los Angeles, and we're a leader in integrating Sage ERP with the Magento e-commerce platform. So CertiPro is a gold certified Sage development partner and a Magento technology partner. And we have a team of Sage certified consultants and developers on staff. So while we're looking at this today for Sage 100, eLink is a seamless two-way sync between Sage and Magento and is compatible with 100, Sage 300, Sage 500, and with X3. So eLink handles all the data connection points for B2B and B2C e-commerce needs. So if you're building if you're building a business partner portal or a website, all these points are going to be connected: the products, the pricing, inventory, the customer information, the order history, and the list goes on, which includes payments and shipping and tracking. And eLink follows all of the business logic in Sage and can be customized to fit your business needs. We've built the software out on both sides, both in Sage and in Magento, from the ground up, from scratch. So this allows us to do any kind of customizations or enhancements or modifications that your customers might need. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to Nick, and we'll take a quick look at how eLink works.
Thanks, Simon. So what we have here is we just have a fresh install of Magento, and with using the default Luma theme that comes with Magento. And then we've installed our extensions in Magento, and we've installed our enhancement inside of Sage. So this is all the out-of-the-box integration that you get with our product. We bring products in from Sage, so we'll bring the default information that we have from the product from Sage, so we can bring descriptions, all of the custom pricing that's set up in Sage, so you don't have to maintain pricing in two places. We handle all of the pricing, including contract pricing, quantity breaks, whatever you might have set up in Sage. We can also bring in inventory levels to control in stock and out of stock, and other default information like weights and things like that from the product. So for this demo, we'll just go ahead and we'll add a couple of items to the cart, and we'll check out so I can show you the order process and how that's going to flow through once we export that order to Sage. So we'll add a couple of these shirts and just go to the checkout process. In the checkout, you'll see that we have some customer addresses already entered into here. So once you create the customer in the web, we'll automatically bring the Sage information for that customer over. So if you have an existing relationship with your customer, all of their information that you already have stored is available to them immediately. So they don't have to go and re-enter their addresses. So I'm just going to choose the default address that's already set up for this customer, default shipping, and we'll go to the payment section. Here you'll note that we have added a couple of payment methods to Magento. So we have our credit card payment method and our billing payment method. Bill me payment method. The bill me is attached to the customer's payment terms in Sage. So you can control which payment terms in Sage are basically terms customers versus which ones you want to have to check out with the credit card. So if they're a terms customer, they can check out on Bill Me, and they don't have to enter any payment during the checkout process. You can have an open invoice and they can pay that later. Versus if they're credit card only, then the Bill Me will disappear. Our credit card extensions work with Paya, APS, and Century Business for full integration through Sage. So a customer can do a pre-authorization on the web during the checkout, and that pre-authorization transaction will export with the sales order into Sage. So the actual capture will happen during your invoicing process, like you would expect. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and use the saved card that we have. I'll show you how that credit card transaction goes into Sage when I export this order so you can see. Our credit card extensions also have this convenient feature of allowing the customer to set up a billing address just for the credit card verification. So they can have a separate billing address for the invoicing, and then they can have a billing address that's associated directly with that credit card. So we'll go ahead and place this order, and then we'll let that order export to Sage. Once we place the order and we go to our account page, you'll see at the top of our account page, there's this pending orders section. We're using what we call a live syncing system. Your website can stay up 100% of the time. If Sage is unavailable for any particular reason, anything that happens on the website will be queued and sent to Sage when it's available. So this order is currently in the queue waiting to be exported, but as soon as we refresh, you can see this order disappears from pending orders, and now it's down here in accepted orders. This order has now been exported to Sage, and all of the actual Sage order information has been imported back into Magento. So when we look in this order grid down here, you can see we have this order that we just placed. This was the web order number that we got when we placed the order. And we now have a Sage order number that goes with it. So the information you're looking at here is coming directly from Sage. If we look at the order details, if you make any changes in Sage, say update the quantities, update the pricing, or even replace items on the order, once that order syncs back to the web, the customer will see those changes reflected on their order in their account. One thing to note here is we're bringing all of the Sage information regardless of origination. So you can see here we have this order 185 from Sage. It doesn't have a web order associated with it. It doesn't matter where this order was created, whether it's created directly in Sage or on the web. The customer is going to see all of their order history in their account on the web. So it's a very useful feature for customers to be able to come in. They can view their orders. They can print their invoices. It doesn't matter whether they actually are ordering directly from the web or not. If we go into Sage and we look up this order, you can see we've added that web order number as a field for lookups inside of Sage as well. So if a customer calls in and all they have is their confirmation number from their confirmation email, customer service can still look up that order by that confirmation number. So you don't have to worry about the disconnect between the web order number and the Sage order number. As Simon had explained earlier, all of your business logic will be intact. We're using the Sage business objects. So we're loading this customer into the form and all of the customer's defaults load. And then we'll override the information that we need to based on the order that was placed on the web. So we may be changing the shipping address depending on what the customer put during the checkout. But all of their defaults will automatically be loaded into the form. Here you can see that we have the payment information that was put during the checkout. So we have all of the pre-authorization information here. And during the invoicing process, this card would be charged and captured, just like you would as if you entered this payment information directly in on the form here. I'm not going to go through the whole process of invoicing this order, so you can see the invoicing go back. Here you can see some other orders where the invoice is already here. We will bring back all of the tracking information. If you're using Starship, the tracking number will be brought automatically as well. And then we also have some other features for being able to make payments on open invoices, process returns directly from the web. And we have a quick order entry form where you can enter an order more like a PO for your B2B customers that may not want to go through a shopping process. If you need to see any of this additional functionality, please contact me or Simon and set up an additional demo. We can get into detail all of the other functionality that's available in eLink. But we just wanted to give you a quick overview of what's available. So I hope this is helpful, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Simon so he can wrap up.
Thanks so much, Nick. I'd like to conclude by discussing what CertiPro can do for you. We provide an end-to-end support for Sage Magento integrations. We can also handle just the eLink piece, or we can handle developing the Magento website as well. So if you're interested in a more extensive demo or have other questions about eLink, as Nick had said, please feel free to contact myself using the information provided on the screen. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.